Guys, welcome back. Today is work on the H22 swapped car. This car, if you're new here, has been a 12 plus year project. The car hasn't moved in over a decade, probably closer to 2 decades at this point. And there's some things to take care of. I think because spring's coming, it's finally time to deal with this car. Let me explain. The car was turboed, went through multiple phases throughout its life. And there's a lot of different things to clean up and fix along the way. I'm gonna show you guys that in a second. But as of right now, the car is a crank, no start condition. I don't believe it was always like that. I think at one point it did run. There's things that need to be addressed still, like the turbo drain is insufficient. So that said, it does run if I spray fuel in the throttle body, which tells me it has no fuel, but we're going to confirm that right now. Things we're gonna address today though, the wastegate has no vacuum support or no vacuum line going to it, which needs a boost signal to open and close. I'm not sure what's happening here. I can't remember anymore. I'd like to do a full wire tuck on it. I just don't have time. Over here, we've got various wires. I don't remember what any of these are for. Looks like headlight connectors. We've got over here our Greddy catch can that's doing, that. Our boost controller is, well, as you can see. So there's various things that need to be touched up. But for now, none of this matters if the car doesn't run. So we got a crank no start condition. Let's see what we can find from here. I'm gonna start simple. Let's just see if we have a power and ground signal at the fuel pump. Step 1, back seat removal. If you've ever taken a back seat out of your Integra, I have not, you just pull up on the front of it, and then there's a small little 10 mil kind of tucked away in the back. You can get it if you fold the seats down. Use a ratchet wrench to get it out. And that confirms it right at the connector there. We do, in fact, have power and ground. So we know that our fuel pump drive module is working. We have power there. Our ECU is sending signal. We do not have fuel pressure. So that tells me it's probably a fuel pump. I'm gonna go to Lordco, get a fuel pump, I'll be back. All right, we got our fuel pump. We have our new fuel pressure regulator. Where I didn't put a lot of thought into this was that's a turbo car, so this probably isn't gonna supply enough fuel, but it gets us up and going. So let's slam it in there. What the Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. I know why it wasn't working now. Look at this rusty, crusty, dirty thing. Look at this. Good thing I got a fuel filter too. All right, let's new one in there and see how we do. We have the new fuel pump installed. We have the new fuel filter installed. What we don't have is a start. Let's see if this thing will actually fire. So I'm gonna set this right here. I'm not gonna retest the fuel pressure because originally we had no fuel pressure and we did have power and ground at the fuel pump. Now we have a new fuel pump and new fuel filter. I wanna say fuel pressure regulator, it's not fuel filter. So let's see if this thing will crank and start. It's been a long time coming. Make sure our battery charger is on. Come on, baby. Woo! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! All right, all right, all right. No Matthew McConaughey. All right, so problem 1 solved. We still have to address everything else happening under here. There's a lot going on. We've got things not secure. We've got other things not secure. We've got things not hooked up. This is the nitrous system. There's a lot to do. Excellent. All right, so overall that went good. We got the clamps on there now for the charge pipe. We have the new fuel filter we put on already. We've got a catch can hooked up. I need to secure the idle air control valve over here, which is for some reason not moving right now. Need to clean this up, but as I was doing that, I found the boost controller, which is hooked to nothing on that end, but ironically hooked to nothing on this end. And the fittings are not only loose, but not taped on there, and the muffler is broken. So I'm not even sure if we're gonna run a boost controller. Might just run it straight to the wastegate and see, but progress continues. All right, so we got the vacuum tee put in there. Got the vacuum tee put in here. I'm gonna run this from our boost vacuum source to the boost controller under here. I think under here will be best. This is just a silicone hose. I should have went under that one too, baby. You always do that, eh? You're always like, oh, I should do this, and then you do it the wrong way. Go under here, that. Zip tie that after we know it's good. I think I'll go behind here. This, maybe not. Maybe I can't reach it that way. This boost controller under here. I have to find a way to secure that. It does have 2 little holes. Go put it somewhere there. Pretty good. And then we're gonna go from the boost controller to the top of the wastegate. Probably not with that hose, but we're gonna try. To the top of the wastegate here. Could almost go behind the rad, I think. Kind of cleans it up a bit. All right, that should be pretty good like that. If we need a bracket for that still. It's out here. Moving in the right direction. So we've got all that kind of tied up in the right direction. We got the blow-off valve hooked up, the wastegate, the boost controller. I need to find or make a bracket for the boost controller, but we'll address that afterward. Right now is this. So I think first step is I want to make sure all my lights work because I don't remember. And I do see there's a ground in here. So make sure the lights work, signal lights, headlights, high beam, low beam. And then I'm not sure, I may just cut these and shorten them as much as I don't want to. I'll figure it out in a minute, but that's the plan. Oh, we got a headlight out over there. Headlight's good. And we got one high beam. So that low beam's out. Let's see if signal lights work. It's not bad, just a headlight over there. We'll figure that out real quick. Go from there. Let's see what we got here. So it's a 9006 bulb. We'll check for power. Well, that's a 9006 connector. And this has the old school HDMI headlight. There's somewhere under, oh yeah, right here. It's a blue and black. Probably helps if the signal wire is hooked up there, eh? All right, let's try again. See if we have a headlight now. Oh yeah, well, when it's not hooked up, that'll do it every time. Cool, so that's all good in the hood. We'll just work on cleaning this mess up somehow. I don't know where this ground goes, but I think I'm gonna ground it anyway. Eliminate some of this shit. This is all from the JDM front end conversion. Let's see what we can do here. All right, we've got everything kind of half-assed cleaned up over there. Let's move over here. I don't even know what this wire does. This looks like maybe at one point in its life, it was a hood switch for maybe a command start or something maybe. The nitrous solenoid. So this isn't actually nitrous. This is, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but essentially sends the nitrous through there, down around here to the intercooler, and it chills off the intercooler. It's a chiller. Right? We could hook that up. I need a momentary switch. I don't have one, but could always get one of those. And what else was there? There was this one, which the connector is not even soldered or connected in any way. It looks like possibly a tack signal wire of some sort. We'll get that cleaned up. We're moving in the right direction. This is the problem when you let somebody else work on your car or picking up a project. Let me show you something. Remember that nicely unsoldered wire? That's right here. I follow it all the way along here, and where does it go? I shit you not, comes across there to the boost controller. Why? Why is that on the boost controller? So I'm hoping they use it as a power wire, and then inside goes back as a sig. I don't know. I have to check that wire out still. But first I need to check to see what's going on there. Because if they just have power and ground to this is gonna be on all the time, right? We're gonna check that next. I need to grab a multimeter here. Let's put this back for a minute. We've got our beautiful Princess Auto multimeter here. You can pick one up for about $9. We're gonna get it set there. Probably need the ignition on. Let's see if it's hot with the ignition off, just for the sake of argument, you know? Thank God it's not hot, because then I'd have some major questions. Yeah, right there. Oh, I had it for a sec and then it went away. Probably this wire is all corroded because it hasn't had any type of protection on it. There, 12.5. Good, so they use that as a power wire. Like, why? If you don't know what you're doing, ask for help. You check YouTube. Why? And like, why? I can't wait to see where the other wire goes. Well, now that we know where that goes, I'm gonna get some solder on there after. But over here, this other wire on the other side of this boost controller goes into the firewall. Now this might be ironic right now, but I don't know. I don't remember this car having a boost controller in it. So unless they're using the ECU somehow, I don't know. Let's see, because I used to use, try and get in here. So it's not there. I used to use the AEM one up there myself. Where would it be going to? This might take a few minutes to figure out where that wire goes. Well, there we have it. That's a relief. It goes through the ECU. The weird part is that this car didn't have a tuned ECU until just the other day. So, because I just got the Honda. So there's that. Okay, we're back from the store with our $400 distributor. We're gonna see if this car will even start. Let me grab a key here. All right, let's see if this pal will start. I have not put the distributor in yet, but just for fun. No. So one thing that leads me to believe it could be a distributor is I have no tack signal at all. My tack used to bounce around a little bit. So maybe the distributor, although we have spark, is throwing off the timing a bit. So, if you've never done one of these before, they're actually pretty easy. Disconnect the battery. If you're brave, you don't have to, but I'm not brave. So we're going to. And then I'm just gonna walk you guys through this quick. We're gonna unhook the power here. Well, I'll come back to that one. Pull the cap off, pull these 12 mils out, swap the wires over, pull the distributor back, mark it, etc., etc. No problem. Half hour. Put that over there. Quick little tip for you guys, if you've never done this before and you're using this video as a how-to, mark the location of your distributor in 2 spots. You can do 1, but you risk, if it rubs off, losing it. And this is going to keep your timing the same. And you also want to mark your rotor. Again, you don't have to, but if it slips, you're going to be upset. Okay, next up, we're going to remove these 3 12 mil bolts, pull it off. This is today's workbench. Now, the fine ladies at Honda did do a good job in making this offset so it only goes in one way. However, this can move. So you want to make sure this is the same orientation, that's we marked it, as the one we took out. And this one I already know is 180 out because I just looked at it. So we'll line this up so that when it goes back in, it's the same orientation as the one we took out, and we'll get the timing area relatively in the same spot. That's my plan. Let's see how it actually works out. Excuse the mess here, but I want to explain this to you guys. So we ran into a bit of a situation here. I noticed just right as I was putting it in. This was on here and I noticed that it was missing the coil. So this one for $400 does not come with the coil. I don't want to put an external coil in it. I leave for work in like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So I think I'm gonna try and take the crank sensor out of here and put it in here. See if that works. No, wait, this is the crank sensor here. This is just entirely the wrong coil. Scratch that. We're gonna come back to this in a few weeks because I don't know what to do. I gotta go to work. You guys don't wanna watch any more of me fiddling and fumbling around with this. So until then, peace out. All right, I don't know if we're gonna post this, but just for fun out of my frustration today, let's talk about Steve's car and how to buy a vehicle and get. So I bought this car knowing it was a project, not a big deal. The problem I ran into was when I was told when I bought it, it needed a head gasket. That's fine. Upon doing the head gasket, I also found the power steering was low and that the power steering line was burst. The car did run. Power steering didn't work because it was broken. Washer reservoir was broken. And then I found the turbo drain had been blocked. It kinked at 90 degrees. There's videos of it if you go back. And the issue with that is it blew out the turbo seals. So I had to replace the turbo. Upon doing that, there was a lot of things, and still I have not 3 years later completed that need to be done. There's a lot of half-assed work on it. There's things like the clutch had to be done on it. Videos of that too. I had to buy Honda for it and a P28 ECU, and it still needs to be tuned. So there's a lot of issues that come up along the way. Frustrating because I was really excited for this car. And it just comes down to simple things like the bumper wasn't on the car when I got it, and that's fine. The bumper had never been on the car, and I know that because it didn't fit. There's videos of this as well. It's kind of funny, I documented it without realizing I was documenting it. What was supposed to be a small, simple, and quick project has turned into a lot of headache and frustration and a lot of expense. Like, I overpaid for the car already at $12,000, which I thought was a lot, but I've put in, clutch was $500, head gasket kit was a couple $100. The ECU though, like that was, I think the ECU and the Honda was $1,500, $1,300, something like that. And time, man, have I spent time. Like, it's frustration. So in Steve's short video today on how to get setting aside those things we've done, it's pretty windy out here. We're now doing a distributor on it, $400 distributor. The total idle time on this car is less than an hour. So the distributor does work when it cools off. Was that known? Wasn't it known when it was sold to me? I don't know, but it's annoying. It's another $400. And then let's set that aside. We also have videos, the fuel pump was gone from sitting 14 years. That could be expected though. I mean, I'm a reasonable guy. I can expect that. Just another few $100 expense. Actually, there's a $500 expense on a car that needed a head gasket. Head gasket's been done for years. Still haven't driven the car.